Hello, it is time for the midweek message. I am just going to get to it. Here we are. I just am fresh back at home from seeing a whole bunch of you at the park. What a wonderful, wonderful time that was. And I look forward to seeing all of you next week. Okay, so how many of us are feeling right now, and I think we even talked about this today, that ours is a life deferred? We feel like the pandemic has forced a stop, or at least a pause in our world, and our lives have been deferred to a later date. We're waiting for life to get back to normal. But it's this pause that I want to focus on today. Much like the pandemic, cancer forced a pause on my life, as you all know. So if you're frustrated, and I think I said this today, if you're frustrated, you want to see your friends, you want the rhythm of your life back, I understand. I truly do, because I have been doing this pause since 2019. And having said that, I can tell you with 2 solid years of experience that there is a beauty in the pause. There is a beauty in the change of tempo. In a world that is replete with distraction, a demand that we always be productive, and a constant agenda of things to do and stuff that feel we must accomplish. And, legitimately, those are all things that we do. But it's easy to lose perspective on what is truly important. In this pause, the still small voice of God waits for you. In this pause, there is space, and there is time, and there's silence. Not a silence that's filled with the void, but a silence that's teeming with activity and love, inviting you to reevaluate what your life might stand for, what you want to do with the time that you have left. God is waiting for you in this blessed silence to refresh your spirit and to help you remember that which has true value in your life. Now, I have to say, I have never believed in the first place that life is merely measured by productivity. I mean, heck, I'm a minister. So much of what I do is about process as opposed to production. I mean, there's plenty of production writing every week, let me tell you, but being present with all of you beloved people when we meet, or even the dance that I do each week when I'm writing a service, of listening to the needs of our congregation as I call you or meet with you, and then listening to the lectionary scripture, listening for world issues that are relevant this week, praying and listening for God throughout all of this, to create something that makes both sense to us as a congregation and our needs, but is also faithful to God and scripture. That is a process. It's a process of paying attention and praying. Productivity is definitely on the list, but it's the process that makes the production possible. So, in this pause, there is the opportunity to pay attention to what truly matters. There are moments of the real, moments that matter, that may change your course as you have time to reconsider what matters to you. We have gone from a sense of crisis, I think, to a sense of chronic. We are adjusting to a new reality that has its chronic responsibilities that are different than the pre-pandemic time. So we're adjusting, for example, to the new reality of long-term mask use, and of trying to keep ourselves and others safe. Those are 2 quick examples of our new perspective on a life that includes a pandemic. So what gifts are there in this new perspective that can improve and reorient our lives? Those moments where we encounter the real, big R real, in great talks with God, in the receptivity of stopping and listening for God, listening and meeting the Spirit in that waiting, in that quiet, of a real moment of recognition and shared awareness and love with a friend, a good belly laugh, which we talked about a few weeks ago, for example. These real moments have a healing and an adjusting effect on the sense of crisis that we've lived with for so long, as well as a healing and an adjusting effect on our old sense of this distracted normal where we did not take the time to reflect because we were too busy being busy. I want to read to you, and I know I've read it to you before, but I love it, and I know you do too. From The Velveteen Rabbit, the part about being real. "What is real?" asked the rabbit one day when they were lying side by side near the nursery fender before Nana came to tidy the room. "Does it mean having things that buzz inside you and a stick-out handle?" "Real isn't how you are made," said the Skin Horse. "It's a thing that happens to you. When a child loves you for a long, long time, not just to play with, but really loves you, then you become real." "Does it hurt?" asked the rabbit. "Sometimes," said the Skin Horse, for he was always truthful. "When you are real, you don't mind being hurt." "Does it happen all at once, like being wound up?" he asked, "or bit by bit?" "Oh, it doesn't happen all at once," said the Skin Horse. You become. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't often happen to people who break easily, or have sharp edges, or who have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off, and your eyes drop out, and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand. There's our beloved horse. The moments of real that I was talking about very much remind me of that being real, those things take time. I think that's why we enjoyed this afternoon. I think that's why you miss each other so much, because when you walk together for a long time, you really see each other and you have real moments of great intimacy and depth. It's something that's so beautiful and it can't be taken away. Okay, now I have to figure out where I was in the thing that I wrote. Hang on one moment. Let's see. Here we are. We have gifts in this time, opportunities to approach God in these moments and reorient ourselves to God time and God values. That is a precious gift in the quiet of now. We also have time to more comfortably and deeply encounter each other. Opportunities for one-on-one real moments. I think this time we are living in has given us a new perspective, a keen awareness of the fragility of life. But it's also given us space and it's given us quiet to ask questions like, what makes your life meaningful? How do we not defer our lives in this slower time? How can we be more aware of God? How can we just be more aware? And I want to remind you that you don't walk alone. God waits for you in those moments. I mean, we wait for each other in those moments too. So pick up the phone. But God also waits for you, full of love and healing and creativity. And not necessarily creativity to produce something, but maybe just to reorient yourself to God and to the love that God is. So in this sacred time, may you heal, may you reconnect, and may you slowly and surely, just like the toys becoming real, may you become the love that God is. Until next week, and of course, as always, in this with you together. Bye now.